Check 1 2, check 1 2. How do you
Check,
do?
check.
How do you do, everybody? Remember, if you're not watching this live, put it in 1.25x or 1.5x and save yourself some time. Life's too short. Just going to fix up a few things here and we will get going shortly. We will get going shortly. Okay, let's see here. Is the top in? Is the bottom in? Nobody knows.
All right. That's that.
Oh, yeah. Starting to slip there, boys. Starting to slip there. All right. Get your votes in on the poll, folks. Let's get going here. All right. Oh, no, we're losing. Oh, no. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Let's get into it. Oh my goodness, what's happening? What's going on here? Forgot to do the, we lost our theme there.
Oh. Oh.
What is happening here? Oh my goodness.
It's been a morning.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Surely Sound Studio. My name is Martin.
Why is it better?
But you can call me Marty, and this is my show. So let's go. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. Welcome everybody. AK with us here today. How's it going, bud?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. It's been a pretty boring time lately, but you know, we got things that seem to be rolling.
Yeah, we are getting into some crazy times. First of all, happy Father's Day, everybody out there who's put the time into being a father.
Yes.
Congratulations to you, and may the day be great for you. My family's taking care of me better than I deserve, and I feel great. So I wish the best and the same to everybody else. Today we are going to talk about, of course, the Bitcoin price. It is almost currently losing its upward trending support here. We are going to get into the bit of some macro moves here and see about where we expect to be and how long, and looking at some of the cycles in the past and compare them so that we can try and predict the future based on past information. Quick look at the S&P and maybe some of the traditional stocks, as well as a liquidity heat map for Bitcoin. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And one other thing we're going to check out towards the end, or maybe at some point I'll just slip it in secret, but stick around for that because you're not going to want to miss it. There's a surprise for you today, folks. A surprise. New development, and we're going to share that with you. So let's get into it. Let's go. What do you know? First of all, let's just look at the Bitcoin price. Let's start off with the macro here, and let's go all the way out to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame going all the way back to, well, the beginning, the inception, the 2008 market crash that caused people to realize that, you know what, guys, this is getting ridiculous. Also, we have technology to solve these problems, so there's no need for us to let this happen again. And so Bitcoin was created because we knew that regardless of what it was, we needed some sort of asset to hold our value, store our value, and not allow people who just print money to manipulate it for those who work for money. And if you look back in the day, it caught on pretty quickly after the 2008 market crash, making large leaps and bounds with only minor corrections and just absolutely pumping. And then we started to get into the cycles, and this is technically a bottom for one of the cycles here, but as you can see where we came from, it's not much of a bottom, but it was a prolonged period of time of pain is what kind of people are determined to be bear markets. So if we look at top of bull markets, bear market length would basically be from the time that we were at our all-time high to the time that we broke above it and continued on, right? So in 2013 to 2017, we had roughly 1,200 days here approximately before we came back and broke that all-time high. So if you were buying the top, and you didn't sell, you had to hold for that much time to break even. Okay.
It's not even that long. That's the crazy part. It's people just freak out the moment they see anything that goes down. I mean, look at how high it went.
Well, I mean, that would have been such a great time to accumulate. You had so much time to accumulate right there. That would have been, and that's exactly what happened. That's a perfect bottom right there, and it's a nice little cup. Right, it's a nice little.
That's a great way to explain DCAing, right?
Yeah,
you don't throw the whole bag in at the top. You go, okay, let's dabble a little bit at Bitcoin. It's topped out. Let's see what it does.
Exactly.
Oh, it's going down. Buy more. Buy more. Buy more.
And then eventually it starts to go up. And before too long, if you've brought your entry down, you're back in the profits again. And you can do whatever you want, whether you want to continue DCAing because you understand what you have, or you don't understand what you have and you finally see the green and you want to start selling. Well, that's fine for you too. You can, when you're in the green, you can take profits, but as long as you DCA in and out, you can always be selling as long as you're always buying and you are thinking long term. But every single time it's broke the previous all-time high, it's continued to make quite substantial moves higher. And so the next one we had this is 2018 because look, we had it, we continued after we broke, we continued to go higher for another year. Just to put it into perspective, bull market continues. Bear market lasts about 1 year. Sideways support and bull market lasts about 3 years. And so we have 1 year, and then we have a nice pump, but pretty much just sideways for another 2 years, and then another year of upward price action. So same sort of thing from December 2017 all the way to November 2020, 1,080 days. So a little bit shorter time span. And then now, depending on how you want to look at the last one, we had from the all-time high, actually all-time high, to the time we broke it was only 840 days. So consistently getting shorter bear markets. Unless you want to, like some people say this was the top, but I mean, what was this right here? This was in November 2020 to April 2021. And then this was all the way to, so this is kind of the year after the bear market. This would make a little bit more sense to me because you have your break of the all-time high and then a year later you make a new all-time high. So 840, I would say this was because this preemptive pump here, I think, was because of the stimulus obviously given to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And right, so this should have been something more along the lines of come down here. Like, this broke higher than it should have before. It should have gone a little bit closer to this red line and moved on up like that. Would have been more, if the economic situation was stable, that's what we would have saw. But Bitcoin is the the red flag, or whatever you want to say. You watch what happens with Bitcoin. It gives you what's, the actual state of the economy. And this is not good. When you see Bitcoin go up like this, it's because of uncertainty. It's because of money printing. It's because of instability economically. So that was not good. And we all know why, right? We were all, unless you're, 6 years old, then you know what happened here. So continuing on, 810 days from we broke that, and then that was March 24, and then we have March 25, maybe August 25. All-time high actually came in October 25, so a little bit more than a year. We did have this massive prolonged mid bull market bear sideways action, which we haven't seen for a while. And this was actually just a lot of people that bought back here finally taking profits and actually being in a little bit of profit. Yeah. And so we're talking institutions, lots of people buying, and also we have BlackRock and other big people buying down in here and taking profits, and that their job is to make money for their clients. They don't really care what it's on or what they're doing it with. Their job is to make money for their clients. So plus we have Germany liquidating their position. There was just so many people seeing green here that it was like, okay, we're taking profits. But obviously there was still people buying, because once those people stopped selling and we ran out of sellers, we continued to go higher. And sort of the same thing happened. So what we kind of were even talking about just before this is it's getting a little bit more stable, and pretty much just been sideways since then, honestly. So whether we go up or down from here, if we put 900 days,
we're going down right now.
900 days just to be conservative, because it could be less. We're looking at February, April, in between Q1 and Q1 of 2028 we could be back over 125K. So we still have the rest of this year and all of 2027 to basically play out this cup that we've been seeing time and time again. And that would just make sense. A lot of people get emotionally attached to things and, I think this, I hope this, using words that make no sense in trading or investing. Look at mathematics, look at statistics, look at past performance, and get a general bias based off of information. And obviously, what's happening every single day we know is not transitory: inflation. So the reason why these bear markets are potentially getting shorter is because they can only stop printing money for so long, and the compound interest creates the economy to collapse faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, to the point where it comes where you actually hit hyperinflation, because you cannot stop printing money because of the debt owed on the previous money printed. So it's just math. We talk about it a lot here. It's not too big a deal. But with that little rant here, I need to wet my whistle with this vegetable cocktail. I got this given to me this morning. That's what I do. I fix stuff and I know things. I had a laugh. I thought it was pretty good. My girls are funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll try and not leave that one in the cab. That's a good one. I'm gonna hold on to that one. It's nice too. It's like stitched leather, not just like a shitty foam.
Kid went all out.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Appreciate that. But yeah, like this is just kind of what we expect. And when we go back to our other chart there, we have basically the DCA zone, right? And we kind of figured this is what would happen based on past performance. And so the Bitcoin's dead box down here. I mean, it depends how smart people are. You know what I mean? Like, the more that people wise up to this, the less time you're gonna have, because the longer anybody's been in it, the more they understand it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to
The
take
more they're
time.
going to want to own, the more we're going to take. Well, I mean, I do, right?
Every passing day, it's getting stronger because one person or another is learning more about Bitcoin every passing day, and they're being forced to because of the economic situation. So when people get to a point where it's like, okay, this isn't working for me anymore, I need to figure something else out. Why do I see other people that seem to not have any problem living through this economic situation right now? Like, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? You know?
Why are these people not complaining when I'm complaining about everything to them? They don't seem to have the same problems, and they have the same job that I have. And
what do they know that I don't know? Right? And the thing is it's not that what do we know that you don't know? It's what have we decided to pay attention to that you didn't decide to pay attention to? Right?
Well, yeah. Instead of talking about all this junk and crap you see on TV, I want to talk about, candles and things like that. I don't, I mean, obviously entertainment has its place and you need to entertain yourself, but that shouldn't consume your life outside of work, right?
Definitely, yeah. See, that's the thing is when people get so hyped up on the entertainment things, speaking of like the World Cup right now, and we were pretty sure we were talking about it last week, how it's a bit of a red flag that it's coming to the West now because its history is to distract people and give them hope to continue being economic slaves, basically. And it's not a good sign that it's coming over here, right? And
no. It's actually that's a big warning sign. That's like, hence right now I'm like, hell, I need to be DCAing a lot more into this because something's coming down the road here.
Well, the thing is that it doesn't matter what you think or how you think things work. It's already happened to many countries in the past, and people work for their native currency, and then it ends up just being worth nothing because the people who are in charge of printing it print it for their own benefit to make themselves richer because they own assets. They tell you not to buy assets, and they tell you that, oh no, wait, next year it's going to be a crash, there's going to be a crash, you're going to buy. It's like this whole time, whether there's a crash or not, you should be paying attention and DCAing into things that you can, storing value properly. If you come from nothing, it's going to take some time, right? It's going to take some time. You can't just you can if you.
It's not just hop in and I'm rich. This is a long game,
and the
right?
thing is
the years of holding out to reap some benefits and
learning
right?
and learning. And the people that seem to get rich quick are actually the people that have been grinding for years, and finally maybe they hit one big trade that makes it seem like they got rich quick. But the thing is that they've been working towards putting that trade in for years and
they've been
slowly building the bag, right? Well, you can only do so much. That's literally
what we've been doing, right? We're looking for this bottom right now because we know when the bottom comes, that next long opportunity is huge.
Well, yeah, basically I've been in it for multiple cycles now. First cycle got burned. Second cycle was like, okay, I think I understand what I'm doing now. Maybe I'll 5% allocate. And then it worked. And I'm like, now this cycle, I'm like, 100%. We're going 100% in. Put it all in, man.
I mean, you did it a little different. I did mock trading for 2 years without using any real money, right? And it was it's great. It's a great way to learn. But I would definitely suggest throwing $100 in there and just trading with real money as well, just to understand, and then do the mock trading for the big numbers if you want to have some fun.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, man. When you put your value into something, you're more likely to pay attention to it. And the idea is to not let anything pull your attention away. So the more you're invested, the more you're going to pay attention, the more you're going to learn. Ultimately, never invest more than you can afford to lose. And of course, none of this is financial advice, and nothing I say or do should be taken as financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube drinking V8 out of a cozy and a tank top. And play golden tea. I'm pretty good at golden tea. I don't know about this investing stuff, but
you can take advice on golden tea.
Entertainment purposes only, folks. But seriously, like, we know statistically that they're trying their hardest to not print money, and they're trying their hardest to raise interest rates, to seem hawkish, to make people think that it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. And I think it's going to, because of that, because they're trying to really, they're trying to make it as good as they possibly can, but the math says that they can't continue to do that for very much longer, right?
No.
So the West is...
When was the U.S. currency even created, right? Like, it's been damn near well over 100 years. It doesn't last.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
And it won't. And they're doing their best to try and keep it stable for, these younger countries. But ultimately, if
you're screwing an entire generation over, though, right? Like, if you really look at it, taking us off the gold standard screwed us, and then now by not, trying to transition into a more stability kind of economic idea, they just print and build more. It doesn't solve anything.
No. The unfortunate thing is that the masses just need to be educated on how the system works, and that's all it really is, because the reason that we're in such a K-shaped economy is because there's a group of people that get it and a group of people that don't, a group of people that pay attention to it and a group of people that don't. And it's like,
yeah.
I've been trying to inform and just like shed light for decades to, but there's lots of people out there that have heard me talk about it for years and never taken a step or making any type of change, or even like honestly believing me. Like, thinking there's some people out there that are like, this guy's nuts. Like, what do you mean, man? Like,
well, you always think somebody's nuts before you get into it yourself. You're like, you're crazy.
Well,
tell me about why you're crazy. I'm interested. Maybe I need some of this.
I get it. Like, some of it's maybe hard to comprehend, but it's really not.
No.
Once you get into it, if you just pay attention for a little bit more than, a couple hours at a time, and actually just fully invest into it, you're gonna get it eventually. Whether it's hard or not in the beginning, you got to put that aside for the greater good, right? You do what you got to do to get the outcome that you desire. And so
it's not going to be easy to, just basically have your own money printer. You need to understand how they print money so you can use that to your advantage to print your own by using the stocks.
Well, just, figuring out how other people are doing it. Like we were saying before, why does it seem that these people are not having a problem with this? I'm having a big problem with this. Maybe I should do something about it, instead of just thinking that, I need to get another job. I need to, you shouldn't have to. It shouldn't get harder as you get older. It should get easier. You should be able to
take a week off work without pay and not have to worry.
And as
right?
technology
improves, a lot of people took a week off without pay. They'd be back on their bills, screwed over, and take a long time to catch that up.
Just accumulate more debt. That's all you can do nowadays, right? But and especially with technology, it should be getting easier. Things should be getting easier. Things should be getting smoother. But if you haven't looked at it, S&P 500, look at that.
Yeah, this is wild.
So this last climb that we had, so this is kind of what I want to point out and talk about for a minute here, is we had the tariff, the original tariff dump, and then the just stable reclaim and buyback of all the fear that people sold back here. And then you have the people that sold down here getting back in up here, and then your typical scare the people out of the market again. This, however, so look at the volume here. We got like lots of volume up at the top here. And then we have this last 10 weeks, I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 green weeks. I do believe that is a record for the S&P. There's 4, 5, 6, 7 there, but I do believe that 9. Do your own research, of course. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here's another 9 week back here of all green, but lower volume than was sold, lower volume that was bought at the top, and now even higher volume, more people selling. Basically what I'm getting at here is this wasn't much of a actual increase in the stock price as much it was as a devalue of the dollar that you're valuing it in. So with, if you see price increase, you should see volume increase if it's actually real, sustainable, in people putting their money in. But instead we saw less volume and the price jump like 25%. It didn't jump 25%. It probably just got up to, back up to where it was before, but inflation and the devaluing of the dollar that it's valued in made it look like this. So that's the kind of thing that you need to realize, that sure, the market's going to do this every once in a while, but this is how it moves because of inflation and because of the money printer. It will just continue to go up. It's not like all of a sudden, I mean, in traditional markets, potentially we could see a rounding and a prolonged 10-year bear market, or sideways market, which we have seen in the past when new technologies come in. But the thing is that the new technologies that are coming in right now are tech companies in the S&P 500. So it's not like it's competing against this, like the Industrial Revolution did. It's fueling the fire. And there's a bunch of people that are investing in it, a bunch of people that are using it on your smartphone every single day. So the S&P thing, like there's gonna be a stock market correction that they're going to talk about as a crash, because that's just what happens every few years. Oh my God, it's crashing, but it's just a correction. So if you're DCAing the whole time, you take advantage of the correction by upping your DCA a little bit, and you're probably going to get a few weeks at it, but you don't get scared because we know where it's going to go after. So yeah,
Are you
sure.
on the daily for that?
This is the weekly, and it would make a lot of sense.
9 weeks.
It would make a lot of sense if the stock market came back down to the 7,000 range. And that wouldn't be a big deal at all, because look, if every single time we come back up, we come back down to our previous high, go up, come back down to our previous high, go up, come back down to our previous high, and continue on. And it'll, like, you know, whatever they say about it doesn't really matter, because it already looks a little bit unsustainable. I expect it to be pretty sideways for the next little while in summertime, and then people are going to ultimately be shaken up by what happens in September and October, and then that's going to cause the market to come back down to a fairer value following the EMAs. Until we break structure right now, this is bullish. Yes, correction could be due, but still making higher highs and having higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Like, if you're looking for long term, you need to be paying attention. So this is why there's people out there that are not having problems, because they're continuing to DCA into these markets.
Their values just increased so much,
right?
They can borrow so much more now, right? But
well, that's another thing too.
That's the other thing. When you go and you borrow that money, you don't just spend it all, right? It's like, oh, okay, I went out and I got a $50,000 line of credit. Well, use that as your yearly wage.
Yeah.
Don't just go out and blow it. That's what they're doing.
Was there one on here? Oh yeah, okay. So like, the money doesn't lie. The numbers don't lie. The Canadian dollar is taking...
Here's one for you. So 9 weeks, because that's huge, right? That's a massive increase. So the last time that happened, or the last record, it was 1957. It was post World War II.
Okay.
And they had a 14-week streak of just green candles.
Wow. Right
before the U.S. economy unexpectedly tipped into that steep Eisenhower recession.
Yeah.
So kind of looking like maybe a same pattern going on.
Well, and that makes complete sense, right? Because why did we have those weeks of green? We also had the dollars making weeks of red. Like the dollars themselves are melting. And that they call the stock market melt up, because it's melting up because the value of the dollar is melting down, right? It's not actually people buying, because we know people are poor. We know people can't, a lot of people can't afford to do much investing because they don't have any spare money. But the value of, this is funny, the value of their currency is going down. So you need to be able to understand why and just play the game.
You know, if we had enough Bitcoin, we could just buy the country.
Well, yeah, there's the other thing too is
expensive to buy Canada, I think, right now.
Yeah, the other thing too is that we need to we need to, the entrepreneurs need to, it's not the government. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are in the camp of just blaming the government for bringing us down. But I mean, the government's robbing you and making it harder for entrepreneurs, crushing small businesses, et cetera, because they know that that's the threat, right? The people themselves need to overthrow, not by like violence, but just by outworking and creating businesses that bring money into your country. You don't need, I mean, they're going to try and overregulate. Yes, they're going to try and make it hard. They're going to put as much resistance as they possibly can, because they want to, like, their goal is to govern. Their goal is to slow things down. Their goal is to, like, literally restrain growth. It's not to provide value to stimulate your economy. Like, the whole idea of the government is backwards now. Like, from where it started, the idea of what it became in the beginning is completely opposite to what it is now. And so the only way to change that is to go back to having the people run the country, by the entrepreneurs bringing in the business, by providing services, providing value, and employing people to do so, and creating companies that are doing great for your country. And that's why the S&P is going up so much, because they have Nvidia, because they have Google, and because they have Meta, and because they have Amazon. These are all American companies that are holding up the S&P 500. Basically, the Meg 7, it represents, I don't know, 90% of the value of that index, and the other 493, you know, it should just be the S&P 10, and that would make more sense. But I mean, that's how it works. It's how it's come to over the years, because everyone's got a phone in their pocket, and it's all about, if you can take $1 from every person in the world, just $1, then you'll be a billionaire, right? So it's like, that's what's happening right now, one way or another. And the decentralized market and the free market should start to pan things out, but people have to want to do something about it. There has to be competition in the free market for it to stay even. If there's nobody giving free market competition, then those large entities will just reign forever. They need to be competed against, not only to get better, because if they have full centralized power, then they make the rules. If we need to have other people come in and fight against it, just to try and keep them honest, right? Just to keep them honest, other people need to provide service that is good, that's about value, that's about paying attention to the customer, because we're starting to live in a time where honesty and being, what's the word I'm looking for? Being a valid customer, being a loyal customer doesn't get you anything. You have to jump around and be the new guy at all these different things to get the best deals. What do you mean? So loyalty is pointless now? You have to be, get this for 2 months, get that for 2 months, to try and get on these offers, because people are just trying to suck new people in, which doesn't make any sense. That's backwards. The people that have been with you for longer should be paying less. They should be treated better. It's not all about getting everybody in for 2 months at a time. It's about getting loyal customers to have a sustainable future, right? So a lot of thinking needs to change, an approach needs to change. And the best way to do it is to learn how economics work, because once you understand how economics work and you realize that you can make a difference by how you store your value and what you do with it, then it pushes you more to do the right thing, because like, oh, okay, so there is something I can do. There is something I can do. And then you're like, sweet, okay, now I feel better about everything. Now I can make it so that there's a better chance that my kids and their kids will have a life similar to mine. Because if you look at countries in the past, all these other third world countries now, at one point they were flourishing, right? At one point they were, but their currencies got devalued against the US dollar, because it was the young buck on the scene, and they became overinflated. And it just happens slowly over time, to the point where the generation that's born into it just thinks that's the way it is. And now we have new technology coming in, and it's doing the same thing to the currencies that bullied the other currencies in the past. It's just the same thing happened over, and you always need to be able to get onto the thing that's going to hold the value the best. And finally, we have one that's not considered a currency for pushing around and using as a medium of exchange, but one that's actually works that way and holds its value long term and gains its value long term in anything that is being printed because of the supply cap, right? Everything's always been, okay, well, if we need to, we can just add to the supply, right? And that's what people are scared of, because they think they can't regulate it because they can't add to the supply, because that's a tactic of regulation in the government, is adding and subtracting to the supply. That's what quantitative tightening and quantitative easing are. Quantitative easing is adding money to the system. Quantitative tightening is selling things off and taking money out of the balance sheet. So it's like with Bitcoin, they're like, well, how do we control it? That's the whole point. You don't control it. Everybody controls it. Everybody that's a part of it gets to have a true decentralized, level, even playing field. Not one group of people can control it for the rest of them. Everybody learns about how it works, and then everybody's on the same page. It's true financial equality, right? If you ever want to fight for equality, this is your chance to fight for true equality. Whether you believe anything, like the money fix everything else will fix itself after that.
Oh yeah, money would resolve the whole world real quick if it went on a Bitcoin standard.
Absolutely, and we're seeing proof of it already happening.
In 5 years, we would be, you wouldn't think you'd be living in 2030. You think you'd be living in, 3000.
Well, that's just the thing too. It's crazy because there's so many people that, if this rejects right here.
Oh, it's getting rejected. I've been watching this.
Yeah, there's so many people that, I don't know if I'd have my stop that high, but this is probably at least coming down to here. That'd be TP1. You could do something like that. Could do something like that there. Honestly, you'd kind of want to actually have this, depending on what you're using for capital. You don't really want that to break that high. You kind of want to see this play out pretty quickly. But we'll see here. Sunday afternoon. At the end
of the night, we should know where we're going.
Sunday afternoon here, we'll have pre-markets for tomorrow, so there'll be a little bit of move. Other than that, that macro move here is just kind of like what we were talking about last week. Is this is make or break, and we got rejected by the macro POC, so we broke, unfortunately. If we look at where we were last week, we're kind of just, we came right up into that macro POC. I think we were, let's see, Sunday. Yeah, so we were right here. So just after we got off, we came down and we pumped, and that's exactly what we were looking for. We had that idea of, I think I had it sitting like somewhere up here for the short trade, because we wanted to see a rejection from that, and then you'd look to enter anywhere after the rejection, have your stop above the last high, take profit 1 would have been the bottom of the channel, or value area low, which would hit right here, would already hit, and then after that you continue on to taking out the previous low. So the swing short, I guess, that we were looking at last week would have been something like that. I didn't take the short because I didn't see that on time. What time did that happen? Never ended up taking the short. I thought you took that short though, especially when we left here. This breakdown right here.
You were camping or something.
Yeah, I was. That's right.
You were out enjoying the fruits of your labor there. You didn't need to hit that one, but yeah, no, it was a pretty nice return.
Nice short there. And then I took a long on Friday all the way up to 64K and have since closed it out. But it kind of just looks like that was TP1 because that's the macro POC. A rejection from a macro POC is a big deal. So yeah, best case scenario, we get back up on top of the macro POC and keep moving up. But I don't know how likely that is going to be with what's going to happen next week. A lot of things are pointing to unsustainable spending numbers. And of course, what happens when you have unsustainable spending numbers in the government is at first people are PO'd, and then other people start to take profits and people get scared, and then you have cascading effect of selling. But this is what they're trying to do too. And also BlackRock is trying to they're fighting right now big time for who's going to own all the Bitcoin. That's kind of what's going on, right? There's clearly, we have 21, we have Strategy, and we have BlackRock, Fidelity, all trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as they can, but also trying to pay as little for it as they can. So using some of the Bitcoin they already have, they can put selling pressure on the market to push the price down, to hope that, and try and scare out or liquidate other people who are trying to do the same thing. So it's funny, you got a bunch of people that are potentially selling to try to push the market down, but at some point you don't want to be that last seller, right? At some point when they all start buying again, because it's like, okay, that's it, that's as far as we're going to go, because we're selling but there's people picking it up. And once it gets to the point where they can't continue to push the market down because there's just people buying, especially if those people are just regular people like you and I that are just DCAing the dips, and the majority of us are doing it. There's way more of us, a cumulative value, than there is with these big corporations who are in charge of a lot of money. But when you look at the sheer numbers of retail investors, there is more money in our pockets, because remember, we're the ones working, we're the ones that are putting, like, having to work to pay these bills. We're the ones that are trying to get the value. They're just the people that are trying to move the value around to make a buck off of our money, right? Their job is to use our money to make money, and they take some for themselves. Just remember that. You don't need that anymore. You don't need any investor.
Yeah, that's the nice part. There's no middleman. You are everything, right? It's like when you go to when you're buying a car, right? You don't want to go to a salesman. You just want to go buy a used car, talk to somebody, hand them cash, and leave, right? Well, you don't want to be filling out the paperwork to file taxes, all this and the other crap. Bitcoin's just a simple transfer. You pay a tiny transaction fee for it. And you're like, and then you're done. There's no, you got to wait 3 days for the money to be in your account, and then you got to wait another 5 days for us to verify it, because, well, the millions of computers are verifying your transaction as you're doing it.
And once people realize, like, especially as the economy gets more unsustainable, people need to move money around faster, or else they will have late charges or overdraft or whatever, right? It's gonna start. And what people, I think, have a hard time understanding is that the entities that are doing this to you, that are making it harder, are doing it on purpose, because they get paid when you don't have money. They get an overdraft fee. They get more percentage. They get more time to play with your paycheck before they actually have to give it to you, right? And that type of thing. So you can't continue to entertain what they're doing thinking that it's going to get better, because no, they're doing that on purpose, and they're taking advantage of you as much as they can until you say or do something. Because we live in a world where people just continue to go along with it, and okay, I guess so, okay, nothing will change. Hoping and just, like, basically hoping is the only thing you can do. If that's all you're doing, hoping it'll get better, then it probably won't. You need to say something, you need to do something, you need to be like, you know what, man? No, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just not working out for me. Don't just take it. Stand up for yourself. Do research and look at what else is out there. And it's brutal, but it's like, you can't be, like we just said before, being loyal doesn't get you anywhere. If you're loyal, you get taken advantage of in this world. It's brutal. You have to be, you have to at least have a bit of pressure. There has to be a little bit of pressure back, or else you need to keep them honest, right? And if you do, right, like we've seen it happen with cell phones for the last 15 years. The first carriers charge this much, and then, here comes a new company, but we charge a quarter of the amount. And then a bunch of people switch over and pay a quarter of the amount for a couple of years. Then they end up getting bought out, and you're back to paying the same amount. But at least there was a couple of years of, keeping them honest and lower prices, and then they get bought out. But then guess what? Another company comes a few years later and starts to put the pressure on again. And we need to continue to do that type of stuff and continue to have a little bit of resistance, or else it'll just be full overthrow. You have to understand, like, speak your mind. Democracy doesn't work if people don't say anything and do anything. Okay? If you just think that this is the way it is because this is the way it is, well, then that's the way it is. And that's because that's your choice.
This is just the way. Yeah, no, there's, you know what? If you can't look at if you can't look at something and figure out that there's a better way to do it, things aren't just the way they are. The society needs to grow, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, well, I mean, I hate that attitude, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are kind of told that that's the only, that's the way it is, right? So they don't know what else to do. Can I move this?
Well, this is why we do it. Come on the internet, go look for yourself, see what other people are doing.
Oh yeah, right.
Exactly, if there's a problem, there's always a solution. It's why it exists.
And that's the best thing to do too, is to learn and talk to other people and try and figure it out. Don't just feel like you don't have a means to figure anything out. Like, don't stay trapped. Reach out, go outside maybe your comfort bubble and figure out what's going on with other people, figure out what other people are doing. If you see somebody who's living a life that you think you want to have, well, then figure out what they're doing. Look up. And a lot of people these days, for whatever reason, will want to look down on people that aren't doing as good as them to try and make them feel better about what they don't have. But it's like, bro, pay attention to what you have and go look at what other people have that you want to have, and look up at them and hang out with them and pay attention to them and get, surrounded by their energy and figure out how to get up there. And then you can, that's how the world works. It's all energy basis. So if you surround yourself with that positive energy that you want to be a part of, you will become a part of it. But same goes for the negative. And if you want to look down on people to try and make yourself feel better, well, it's gonna get worse for you. So don't do that. You lift people up, encourage people, be positive.
That's right. Yeah. Don't just because you see somebody and you're like, I don't like them because they're doing well. That's exactly why you are where you are.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Nothing's going to change.
But you know what? And if you're gonna, I see somebody like that, I want to take 5 minutes of their time, because that 5 minutes is the most valuable thing they have to offer. Mm-hmm. How did you get here? Tell me. Mm-hmm. What did you do? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's exactly, what got me started into the day trading was, back in 2019, talking to some guy, yeah, man, this is amazing. How do you, he runs a store. How do you sell all this stuff at such cheap prices? I mean, another store is selling, all these items for $40 more than what you are. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I was an early adopter of Bitcoin. I day trade now. I wake up, make a trade, come open my store, hang out for a bit. And, I like to help people out and give back now.
And that's, because that's when you play that game of positivity and you're positive, the positive energy just surrounds you, right? So it just gets better and better and better. Your brain starts to recognize better things. There's to always look at the good. It's all perspective. Two people can be going through the exact same situations, and one can see it as heaven and one can see it as hell. And it could be actually both equally heaven and hell. It could be the same thing, but it's how you decide to dissect it yourself, the perspective that you have. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that in this universe, it's all it takes is your decision. If you decide to pay attention to what you don't have, you'll probably be upset. If you decide to pay attention to what you do have, you'll probably be pretty stoked, and then it just continues to get better when you live life that way. And so it's hard to get that through to people sometimes, but you said, we're on here
in such a world where it's literally based around consumption, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, even the video games today, it's all just a quick dings and little activities just to keep you going for the next 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really looking to play the long game, to learn, to kind of do anything. It's all just, let's consume, and then be miserable that I'm not saving my money. Mm-hmm. I know bills are expensive and things like that, but there are also things that a lot of people can go without. Absolutely. That they don't need, that they, but waste a lot of their
because of the
money
influence that they surround themselves with. They feel like they need to buy this, or they need to have that, or they need to do these things. And it's like, you don't really need to do much of any of those things. Yeah, if you understand living beneath your means and investing the rest, before too long, your means don't matter, and you can pretty much do whatever you want because you're on the right side of inflation. You need to put yourself on the right side of inflation. And look, a quick little side note on inflation the other day, like a lot of people are talking about it in the mainstream media, how inflation's on the rise again, and oh my god. And what do the rich people do? Oh, that's great. Like, yeah, I actually really like the numbers. There was multiple people of high caliber saying, oh yeah, I really like the numbers. They're good, right? But they're like, and then everyone else is like, what? What do you mean? Inflation is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, it depends on what you store your value in. If you're in the S&P 500, then inflation looks pretty good right now, right? Like, if you're in cash, then inflation looks like shit. You don't want to, that hurts. But we know that regardless of ups or downs or whatever, sideways price action, ultimately inflation is mathematically unsustainable, and it will continue to get worse. It's not going to go back down. It mathematically can't with compound interest. It's always going to continue to get worse. That's by design. That's to stimulate growth. That's to make you spend your money today because it's going to be worth less tomorrow. That's how they started the engine. But now,
man, can you imagine going back to the 90s and walking up to a vending machine and sticking 75 cents in and getting anything?
Oh man,
like 3/4.
75 cents? That's way too much for the 70s. That's like 25 cents, 50 cents.
Oh, I meant that's the 90s, because we had 75 cents, and it was $1. Then when it was
I do remember when it became $1.
$1.75.
Yeah.
That was us growing up.
I do remember when things became $1. I was like, what? $1? Yeah, because it was like all about getting quarters. Collecting quarters was the shit.
Quarters were the best. Yeah, you'd always jam up the coin machine to get them all too.
Yeah, quarters were tops for sure. You didn't really care about the loonies because, but until everything hit $1 in the vending machines, and it was like, what? Now I need to get loonies? I guess that's more convenient. I only need 1 coin instead of 4.
Oh, that's how they got us, right?
Oh, it's for our safety. It's for our convenience.
Oh, instead of carrying 3 coins, we can drop it down to 1 now.
Yeah. You always got to be aware that if they say if it's for your convenience or if it's for your safety, then it's not. It's for your control. Unfortunately,
now we're paying with paper bills and tap on the vending machines. They're so expensive, man. They can't even take change.
Oh man, I don't even look at vending machines anymore because, like, to explain to my kids, like, oh, can we have something at the vending machine? I'm like, well, first of all, you got a less than 50% chance that you're actually gonna get it once you pay for it. and on top of that thing's like $7. When I was your age, that was 70 cents, 75, $1. That was $1. And they're like, and also we can go to the grocery store and get that for 1/3 of the price. You can get 3. And it's like, it's just, I know, it's crazy that
vending machines are just something happened with those things, and they just became too much. Well, inflation, I guess, right? Chocolate bar costs $2 now. In order to pay the guy to drive it there to stuff it in the machine, they got to charge $7.
Also, the machines are all flashy and digital, and they're more to maintain too, because it was all mechanical before. Right? Now it's digital. The vending machines are digital. When they took away from the mechanical ones that worked on just springs and gears and shit, you plug it in and that's all you need. Now it's all, it has to have a screen, has to make sounds, has to all this stuff, has to have a chip reader in it, all these. It's like, well, yeah, of course everything's going to be more expensive. It's ridiculous.
The damn machine takes 3 years to pay off.
Well, it's just, exactly. It's stupid because technology, how we were talking, should be making things more, or should be making things cheaper, more readily available. But we're at this, I guess, infrastructure build out to get into the digital era that's costing a lot of money to get there, so things aren't getting cheaper. Maybe once everything's established, things could get cheaper, but the thing is that we just keep growing and we just keep coming up with new technologies, and then the old ones are think about how many phones you've had in the last 10 years. How come I can't just have one phone for the next 30 years? Because we've got new things.
Like the home phone, man. You used to go out and get some crazy home phones, and that thing was on your counter or wall for years.
Now we've got just new technology every day, so nothing lasts more than 2 years, and you're like, well, this is stupid.
And you know why they blatantly update their phones to slow them down too, right? That was shown to you that these companies do that because if they sold you a phone that lasts 20 years, how are they going to stay in business?
Exactly. Dude, I actually did some research on my latest phone when I got it, and it's nuts. It's a great phone, but I went and did developer settings and spent a couple hours turning some things off and making some changes. and like it is insane how flawless. Like I can just go one thing to the next, and it is no lag.
I do that with every phone I get. Developer settings is the first thing I do. I basically again, I learned this all through online tutorials and things, and holy, does it work better?
Oh man, and you just do a little bit of research, an hour of your time, and it solves years worth of frustrations. And that's the kind of thing that people need to pay attention to. Put that hour in right now, and it'll save you years in the future. Put that $100 in now, and it'll save you hours of work in the future. Type of thing.
Your phone is a tool. You should know how to use it and what it does, and kind of dive into the settings. I mean, you don't need to be a complete tech nerd to just tap your IP or your IME number 10 times and open up your developer settings and just go through them, learn.
Yeah, it might be a little bit overwhelming, but just look for what you're looking for and pay attention to what you're trying to do. Stay focused on that, and don't get caught up on all these other things that you don't know what they are. And if you don't really need to know them.
God, no, you don't need to know half of it, but there's like, about 5 to 10 settings in there that are really all you need to know.
Yeah, and it makes a world difference. And you really have to go in there and change them once.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get a new phone, spend the time to figure it out, do it, and then you're good. As long as you don't smash your phone, or whatever. Try and take care of it, but it shouldn't outdate itself on you, especially now. Like I think most of the cameras and microphones and stuff in phones have been the same and even the batteries have been the same for like since COVID, basically. I think so, like 2019. There's really not much to update recently as far as new gadgets. Like the cameras are already just nuts. 200 megapixel camera in your phone. It's like, man, it's crazy. All they're doing is just coming out with the next phone just to give it a new name at this point. Like if you look at the specs, they're all the same. And you can't even buy old phones. There's a new phone that comes out every year, like cars did back in the day. There's a new model for each one. It's like we're literally going through the same thing that we did through with cars. When cars were coming out, the new models. Okay, now GM's going to make GMC and Chevy, and there's going to be a Pontiac Firebird, and there's going to be a Chevy Cavalier. It's like the same thing, but they're two different names, right? And that's what's happening now with digital devices, and just understand how to navigate through that, and you'll be better off on the other side. Forward thinking,
We had digital devices, very basic technical devices growing up, and honestly, the simpler they were, the longer they lasted. They worked great if you keep the complexity kind of out of it.
Delayed gratification. If you understand how to achieve that, then it makes the days in the future better. And then once you get to those days in the future, that's just your life now. Because of what you did in years past, you start to live in that future that you prepared yourself for.
The one that you were sitting there dreaming of, thinking, oh, I can't wait to be there. Meanwhile, you completely forgot the whole journey when you got there. Like, oh wow, I am here.
Yeah, exactly, right. And now we're just here. It's pretty cool. Liberated on the other side. All right, guys. Well, that's about an hour, and I think. What do you think? You gonna get it some GT?
Yeah, we'll get a round in, and
let's get a round in, and then
do that.
Hit up the batting cage. You got any swings in it? You probably can't swing right now.
Batting? Yeah, no, not a chance.
Well, I set up a batting cage in the front yard. I can show you.
Oh my god!
I took like over 200 swings yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I was like, ooh, just got to stretch it out a little bit. But took a few swings yesterday too, and it was like, ooh, it's a little sore, but definitely it's so much fun.
You don't think you're old. Yeah, you don't feel old, but
I won't stop. I can't stop. So if I'm sore for a day, whatever, you stretch it out, do yoga, drink water, eat peas.
That's right.
Eat greens, and it's like get right back to it. I'm not ready to not be a kid anymore. Like I'm just.
Oh, of course. I wish I still had knees and legs to skateboard.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah. I mean, I just make sure that I take care of the things that need to be taken care of, but I'm still a kid.
That's right. Yeah, take care of yourself.
That's all it is. All right, man. Well, I'll see you shortly. And to everybody else in the stream, thanks for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. Peace out. Surely Sound Studio, Marty, and everyone else here. Peace. What do you say, Ann? Loyal. I can. Hockey's not working. I gotta click on this first. There it is. Peace. I recommend putting your opinions aside and learning how to think logically.